And welcome everyone to Book the Ticket, the movie podcast for the CBC channel. And Google us. You can find us anywhere. If you Google Comic Book Cast, you'll find the Twitters, you'll find the Facebooks, the Patreons, whatever you want. You can follow us on Twitter at Mitch692 and Halftime Joe. Because of course Joe is always here.
No, I'm gonna
He
leave.
never
Bye.
leaves.
I'm leaving right
Oh,
now.
all right, solo show. Let's do it.
That's it. Then we're just solo show.
Just me being like, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, we have a medium show. I'm not gonna say tiny anymore. A medium show.
We gotta
Even though I
make it
should have
different.
said tiny because I could have said speaking of little things because
I
they're
mean,
all
they're
quite
not
tiny.
little. I mean, yeah.
They are little compared to people. They're little. But we have another look at the Christopher Robin movie. We have a trailer and a featurette. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Thoughts? 'Cause it's a
You see
T-H.
that photo? So we're looking at an article from Collider, and there's a photo at the very top, and it has just them in the like beach chairs, basically on the set. I don't know how much of that is actually in the movie or is it just marketing, but I would love to see that in the movie. I just think that's funny.
I hope it's in the movie.
I just think that's funny, man. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it's just their little stuffed animals, and they're on the beach, and they're probably gonna talk or whatever. So, but
Covered
yeah,
in sand, it'll get everywhere.
I think we're both
There'll be
really
a
excited for this movie. There's a lot. There's a lot of charm to it. There's a lot of nostalgia to it. Of course, for both of us who grew up on these characters and going back to that, and in a way, it's kind of like mirroring because the character Christopher Robin is going back to them. So like similar how
Yeah.
we are. So we're going back to this world, and it's very much just from the perspective of people who grew up with them. And I'm sure, and I think they even say it in this featurette for Legacy titled, that it'll
Yeah,
be the
yeah.
sense of even though people who watched it and grew up with it will love it and will probably get the specialness to it, but people who were first introduced to this, because I'm assuming kids that are going to go see this movie never see, because I don't recall it being on TV in any sense like now.
It's probably on like really early on Disney Channel.
Maybe, right? But I'm assuming those kids and this first time in the introduction to Pooh and the rest of the gang, like it will be something special. I feel like because they're not gonna mess. I feel this movie doesn't feel like they're messing up the legacy of it. It very much feels like they're respecting it, and anybody new is gonna be in for a ride.
Mm. But it also like just the concept of it. It feels like it's not necessarily made for kids.
No, and that might be a lot of like it's. I don't know how much of we're gonna be in the real world quote with Christopher Robin and his job and whatnot.
You'll probably get a decent mix
Yeah, you gotta
because like
the
'cause, like, from the
backstory, right?
sneak
Yeah.
yeah like, from the sneak peek it looks to be a decent amount in like the actual real world.
Well, I'm assuming the first 20 minutes you gotta get the backstory of Christopher Robin being,
Oh yeah, yeah.
he hates his job and his wife's like, you gotta provide. Yada, yada. Maybe you should hang out or do this, whatever. You know, it's gonna be that typical thing for any movie. So, and then eventually you'll see Pooh, and I'll just be struck with like joy. Just be like, Pooh, you're back.
He's so adorable.
Yeah, he's cool, man. It's gonna be a really good movie, and
And
Jungle
you
Book was
know
really
that
good.
yeah,
Beauty and the
Beauty
Beast.
and the Beast was good. Yeah.
But this one's gonna be at the top tier. I feel like out of all those, I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
why. It just feels like it has more charm to it.
I think I'm not sure. There's just something about it that's definitely. I think it's probably going to be the best one they've done
Yeah, I agree.
because it's like it's all the other quote Disney movies weren't. I mean, to be fair, this wasn't actually made by Disney either. But it's I don't know. It feels like it's Disney where everything else is like, oh, that's based on this. That's based on this. Like, yes, Pooh is based on not a Disney property, but you know.
I'm still all for it, especially some of these stills that we see at the
Yeah,
very bottom
yeah.
of the article. Yeah, it just looks good. I will never get over that first teaser poster when it's like your past will come back or something like
Oh,
that.
what
It's
the
Pooh with the hat.
terrifying one?
Yeah.
It's like, what is this movie? Is this Pooh gonna kill us or something? What's going on?
Yeah, that's
Why is it
funny.
so sinister? But they look so good, even though they look a little bit bright. I say a little bit. They look a lot brighter in the posters than they do in the actual movie.
Yeah, and that has a lot to probably do with they want to market it right with the posters. Just
Yeah, yeah.
weird. Maybe it doesn't work in the film, like being that bright. I don't know. I feel like it could, but at the same time, like when you look at Christopher Robin, he looks like extra like bright, like white, extra white. So maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it'll probably be that thing where like at the end everything brightens
Yeah,
up and the world's not as dark and glowing as you think it
you know,
is.
and
Yada,
that's cheesy,
yada,
but I'm
yada,
cool
yada.
with it. I like that.
It's Winnie the Pooh is gonna
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
No, 'cause there's gonna be that moment where something happens to Pooh, everyone's crying, and then it all gets brightened up again.
Oh, well, Christopher Robin's
Right.
gonna turn into stone, and Pooh's just gonna be like, Pooh,
Pooh's gonna cry over him
Pooh.
because he got caught in the middle of something.
His tears are gonna bring him back to life.
Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be
And then
great.
he'll say, "I just want to be with you," and that's why he's never in his Pokeball.
You know, I don't. Yeah. Oh,
I don't know
man.
how we got onto that.
I don't know. It just reminded me of the
That was
first
a good
movie,
one.
though. Just the first movie. That's like you're thinking. I think more the original, like.
I mean,
like,
I was thinking the first movie mixed with the new one.
yeah. Yeah.
And let the thing talk.
I don't know.
But no, I think it looks good. Like even though
Sure, yeah.
in the featurette you hear Piglet, and Piglet's a little bit higher pitched than what I remember. It's just like, oh, it's not Piglet. Like, why? I don't know if the original voice actor's dead. I don't know what.
Maybe R.I.P. if he is.
Yeah, who's playing Piglet? You got Jim
Doesn't say
Cummings,
his
Winnie the
name.
Pooh. Tigger is Brad Garrett. Eeyore's Toby Jones. Ours Nick Mohammed. Oh no, Nick Mohammed's Piglet. I've been reading them names wrong. Yeah.
I'm gonna see
Peter
what Mark
Falk is
Foster's
Rabbit.
done. IMDb Mark Foster.
Who's Mark Foster?
No, the guy's directing it.
Ah.
World War Z. Okay.
Oh.
That's such a departure.
So they're all just gonna run at a massive wall trying to get over it then. And just climb
Probably.
on top of each other.
World War Z, Quantum of Solace, and I don't really remember Quantum of Solace.
I don't watch the new Bond films because I don't know Craig.
Yeah, and that's kind of it. That's really the only movies that people will know him from. This is probably gonna be the first one that's actually like amazing. It just feels like it's gonna be amazing.
It's definitely gonna set a new bar. I think.
Yeah.
I feel like, even though Jungle Book was really good.
But that wasn't good in terms of like technology. This is gonna set a new bar in terms.
I mean,
of...
Jungle Book was just good in general.
I guess so, yeah. But the technology
Well,
on that was
speaking of
what,
which,
like,
have you seen the animatronic for Mufasa?
No.
Dude, it looks so good.
Alright, well, gonna wait on that. 2019, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm assuming.
I'm not 100%. I just saw it on my timeline and I was like, wow, it's a dude feeding a lion. And it's like, oh, it's not real. Like, damn.
You got.
It's like, there's a massive metal rod sticking out. This
I don't know
lion.
if I want to look it up because I kind of want to be surprised.
I mean, be surprised then.
Yeah.
Speaking of surprises, Jeremy Renner is joining Jamie Foxx in McFarlane's Spawn reboot as Twitch. Now, if you ever seen Twitch, you would not cast Jeremy Renner.
I'm like what I've always said, not that I don't remember the movie, and I also am not the biggest Spawn fan, so I don't know the
I
character.
don't think Sam and Twitch were in the movie.
Probably not.
But like, you just like look at the comics. Like, Twitch is they're more suited to Simon Pegg and like Nick Frost.
Oh, so someone who's probably not going to do like action.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when he casts Jeremy Renner, it seems like he's going to do some action, like some parkour.
I mean, like he could mix it up in this. I haven't read Spawn
Sure.
in years, so I'm not really familiar with these characters anymore. So I mean, it's an interesting casting. No, Renner's obviously going to be the star since McFarlane said Spawn's not going to be in it that much. So still trying to figure out why you'd want Jamie Foxx.
I'm looking at what McFarlane says about Renner. I know most of it. He basically said first-time director. He wants to surround himself with the most talent he can. Renner, Foxx, pretty good talent on your first-time directing.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
he might ask for advice from them, and I'm sure he's asking for advice with other directors and stuff like that. Like he wants to get this right. It's his baby, basically, and he doesn't want it.
I mean, he has to get this right. He's talked so much about this movie.
If he gets it wrong, I don't think he can come back from it. It's one of those like we just can't. And I feel
it's
bad
one of
for
those things
that.
where it's like, if it makes money, he won't be back for a sequel. They'll get someone else.
Yeah.
He'll be like, look, your movie was kind of bad, but it made money, so You know, you can still maybe write the thing, just not direct it.
This makes sense. All right, so McFarlane says, character doesn't need to be a bodybuilder, GQ handsome. I was looking for somebody who's a person he met before. I needed someone who could pull off the grief of an average human being. Renner can pull that. I feel like Renner, every time you see his face, you're like, damn, he's been through some shit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's why they cast him as Hawkeye.
Yeah, you can feel it. You can be like, man, he's been through something.
Yeah, and then like you get the family scene in that Age of Ultron that not everyone liked. I enjoyed. You know, like he definitely feels just like an average guy. You know, do you find oh, I don't want someone who's a bodybuilder. It's like you saying he's not like.
I like that part in Ultron, even though there's not a good version of it in Justice League.
Yeah. No, they don't really do a scene kind of like that, do they?
I mean, just the family.
Yeah, but that's not really.
Wasn't that the version? Because Whedon's whole thing is like random like.
The equate to that would be.
What would be in Age of Ultron? I don't remember.
Maybe not in Age of Ultron, but the Avengers.
But that's what the chick. Yeah, but I'm thinking more of I'm thinking more of Age of Ultron because he did that movie. So I was trying to find.
I suppose.
Well, what else is there to equate in that movie for that? Because I feel like he has it in every movie.
Or the little Sokovian kid that he saves. I suppose, because you see him and his mother a couple of times in that third act. So that's probably the closest thing to that. There wasn't like, I suppose the closest thing to like the Hawkeye family scene in Justice League was the when they go back to Wayne Manor, and Diana just suddenly wears that tablecloth to hide that she's pregnant in real life. I don't actually know. Would that be the closest thing? Because it's a downtime of the movie, but outside of that, But back to Renner as Twitch, I think he can pull it off. I don't see any reason why, apart from just looks wise, he doesn't necessarily look like an actor I would personally cast. But I think he's a good actor. He'd do a decent job. No, Hurt Locker, Wind River, both good movies. McFarlane, Jason Blum echoed McFarlane's thoughts. Jeremy's the ideal choice for Twitch Williams. He radiates honesty, intelligence, and hardworking. Everyman charisma, the same qualities that make Twitch such a compelling character. I mean, I can see it from that. Just from that. I suppose looks alone isn't really much of a reason to cast an actor, but hey, there you go. What are you saying?
No, I was agreeing.
But I can't think of a segue for that one. I'm going to apologise now. Actually, I should have done it at the start. If you can hear a fan, it's because it's fucking hot here. And I'm tired of dying.
I'm telling you, I can't even hear it. So.
just in case, because it's like a dunk, 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 dunk. Because it's an old ceiling fan. But speaking of fans should be happy or mad. I don't know. Billy D. Williams is returning as Lando Calrissian in Star Wars Episode 9. Probably to die.
Yeah, that's what I've seen a lot of people say. They're bringing it back, and they're going to try to, respectfully kill off every character that we loved from the old one, and they didn't want to. And I guess Princess Leia isn't dead, right?
No,
but I'm pretty sure they're just not bringing her back. So it's
I'm certain Episode 9 is going to start with the funeral. You can't just ignore that. You can't just go, oh yeah. You can't be like, oh, Organa just died. I think you have to physically address something like that.
Does she have to die? Could she just be off doing her duties somewhere on another planet and one of those things? Some people would argue, Paul Walker, right? His whole thing was his character retired and he's just living life with his family.
Yeah, but I think under the circumstances of what Episode 7 and 8 did, you could be after losing Han, after losing Luke, it just took its toll.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past him to just kind of have her be on another planet doing her duties and stuff like that.
No, because then that leaves it open for someone else, and I don't think they're gonna.
How does that leave it for someone else? Or maybe she retires after losing Han and Luke. She retires. To me, that doesn't sound like a bad thing. That's not disrespectful at all.
I'm not saying it's disrespectful, but that's she doesn't get her moment then. Whatever you think of Han's death, he had his moment.
I thought that was her moment in the 8th, and where she's like talking with Luke or something, and it's supposed to be about Han.
Because that's Luke's moment. Like that entire bit where he walks in, he's like, "Oh, here's the dice," and then he walks out and he does whatever. That's Luke's moment. She doesn't have a moment, and I think it would be nice to actually have the films recognize that these characters have died, because everyone said like, "Oh, Han didn't get a funeral." They just kind of brushed over that. Luke doesn't get a funeral because he's in the middle of fucking nowhere. You're not going to see that. Give Leia the funeral.
Maybe she's one with the Force now, right? Maybe she just does like Luke and bah, disappears.
I mean, even so, you can still like.
I mean, I would say give them all a funeral.
I mean, yeah, you could
do one big funeral because they just escaped. Give one for Han, Luke, and Leia. But at the same time, I just don't know which way they're gonna take it. I feel like,
I feel like it's kind of necessary to have. You need to acknowledge it in some way that she's gone and she isn't coming back. Because saying, "Oh, she's retired and she's on a planet somewhere," it's kind of open ended and a bit lazy.
I don't see how that's open ended. I honestly don't. That's just like
because you're not going to see it, and then people are going to be like, "Oh, why not just go back and get her when you need her?"
Everybody, because I've seen movies.
Like, why is she just left in the middle of a war?
Well, I mean,
you can't really.
Everybody, nobody's stupid like that. It's gonna be like, well, let's be honest, the actress actually passed away. Who's stupid enough?
Yeah, I know, but still, like, you have to service the story as well. You can't just be like, "Oh yeah, our general left in the middle of a war."
But I think
that's kind of late.
Remember, everyone assumed she was gonna die in 8. Like, I think that's just the route everybody assumes is gonna take, and I mean, it could be either way, the retirement or a funeral. It just either way works in my opinion. Like, I'm looking up movies with actors who passed away. Paul Walker's the most notable one. Heath Ledger, right?
But Paul Walker still had a moment for him to go.
Yeah, I'm all for the moments. But that doesn't mean they have to die. The character, you could have a moment without them dying.
Yeah, but
it just has to make right for the story, right? And if it makes,
I feel like it's more like of a symbolic thing as well. Because it's like, this is the Star Wars goodbye. Now, yes, we had the thing at the end of episode 8 where it said, like, "In loving memory of our princess," whatever.
I thought the goodbye was him burning the tree, but okay.
Him what?
Remember in burning the tree in the Last Jedi? I thought that was like goodbye to the old ways, goodbye to the old movies.
That's not goodbye to the character and to the actress. I don't know. I just feel like it's something they need to do.
I'm all with you on her having a moment. I felt like it should have been an 8, but they gave it to Luke, and I think because they didn't want it to ruin what they originally had with the story. Because I feel like Luke was originally that was going to happen anyways, right? Whether what happened.
I mean, yeah, Luke was going to die either way.
Yeah, they could have rewrote it, I guess, if they wanted, but I felt like they're just like, no, we wanted to say this one story.
Because I think that's disservicing both characters. I think if they rewrote it.
I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't have been able to tell anyways, because I wouldn't have known this original ending, so I wouldn't have known. Honestly,
I mean, you would have, because they would have come out and said, "Oh, yeah, this is what's going to happen," but
maybe, but I feel like a year or 2 years after that. Or you think that comes out sooner? Possibly. You think that comes out sooner? Now?
I think in this day and age, it would have been sooner.
It probably does come out sooner now for some reason. I mean, the original ending for Fast 7 didn't really come out yet, so that's one that they're saving, or they hid away. They're not trying to put that one away. Let's see. And I think the one for the Joker actually came out right where he was supposed to be in Rises. That one did come out, but that was like years later.
No, that came out not that long after Dark Knight Rises did.
Did it? Oh, I thought it was years later. Maybe
we've known that 4 years.
Maybe it's months later.
Maybe not 74 years, but it's been a fair few years.
I'm looking like this is a weird thing to look up of actors who passed away during production, but I'm curious as to how the movies went along with it. You know what I'm saying? Like certain movies. Let's see.
I think because they could quite easily just CGI someone's face and do a Rogue One on there. But
that's almost very disrespectful.
Too soon. Yeah. It's a bit too soon for that.
That's
disrespectful. Wasn't great in Rogue One. Maybe if it was like the end of a trilogy and then she still hadn't died in the movies and then they came back like 10 years later and they did it then, that'd be fine. But I think now it's a bit too soon for it. I don't know. I just feel like the funeral is the best way to handle it.
I mean, I whatever the way they want to handle it, I'll be okay with it. Most likely, it doesn't matter to me. I see your point in the funeral. I feel like the moment that makes sense of her having her moment, whether it's a funeral, whether it's she steps down officially and retires or whatever, or whether she just disappears into a Force ghost and she's one with the Force now. Either way, I think they're gonna put a lot of effort into making it special.
Because I feel like they have an opportunity here to make a bit of goodwill back. Because people are like, everyone was saying, oh, Han didn't get his moment, they didn't handle it well enough. Like, the movie just kind of ends without it.
Yeah.
But with episode 8, we know they didn't really have time to deal with it because it just picks up straight afterwards.
Yeah.
So if you have episode 9 start off with a bit of downtime and they do a Han and Leia funeral, I think that might, like, possibly, not say bring people back, but, maybe not. It might be at least one thing people like about the movie that don't like these movies.
The Last Jedi is on Netflix. 2 hours and 31 minutes. That is a long movie. God. No wonder I felt like the first...
Was it 2 hours? I mean, a lot of Marvel movies and DC movies are around 2 hours 30.
It doesn't help that in the middle, remember with the really slow?
Yeah, I agree with you there. The middle does drag.
I think that's the only thing I remember from that movie is that I just thought that was. I looked at I just like I need the time, man. A friend of mine had a watch.
I do that anyway, and it's never I never take it as a sign that I'm not enjoying the movie. I just want to know what the time is.
No, for me, I take it as a sign like, man, like this is really slow. How much long do we got? Like, I want to get to like the good parts.
The moment I know I'm not enjoying the movie, so I start looking up at the lights.
No, see, that's by accident. To me, it's the other way for me. Where if I look at the lights, it's like, oh shit, but that's by accident. Like it just caught like the light. It just like somebody moved and the light came into my vision. So I was like, shit.
That's a bit different. But if I'm just sitting there, I actively just look up, and just stare at the lights and kind of like blank out, then that's. But just looking at the watch, it's like trying to reflect it, be like, what time is it?
See, to me, it's the other way around. Where if I look at the time, it's like, oh man, I must not like be enjoying this part of the movie because, like, I enjoy, like I said, the first and third half, or the third act. Yeah. But I mean, it's on. I didn't watch it.
I did it a lot in Infinity War. It's just like, when can my torture end?
No, Infinity War. It was constant, like in your face. So I just had no time to look at anything. But I'm definitely gonna go out and check The Last Jedi again because I haven't seen it since I first saw it, and I still have the same feeling about it where that the middle really lagged and I got bored of it, and then the best part was the whole Skype Jedi stuff and when they eventually fought like with the red people. Yeah. I thought that was dope.
I've only seen it once and I still have my initial impression, but at the same time, the bits I enjoyed, like it's taking that second act. That second act is trash. Yeah. The first and third act I've liked more as I've thought about them. It might change if I see it again. Yeah. I'm not sure. Same with act, it might change. I might like it a bit better. But
oh no, mine won't change on the third act. I remember my first initial thought, like besides second initial thought was, so nothing really changed, right? Like that's kind of like Luke just died. Like that was my initial thought.
I suppose nothing really does change in that movie. I suppose actually no, that's a lie. They're on like.
I guess they changed planets. But
I was meaning more like the rebellion's like 8 people now.
It's true.
A lot of people die in that.
I guess one of the things I always wanted from that film was Kylo being on his own. Now we just go into Last Jedi talk. I know people hate doing Last Jedi talk, but I kind of, I don't like. I'm not one of those people who just outright hates it. I have some qualms about it, but overall, I think
it's not a perfect movie. But what it does really well for the most part. I think it's got a lot to say, and I think it says it really well.
People for forever, I think, acknowledge that one scene of them fighting in the Red Room. That's just great.
Yeah, forget the prequel fights. That's one of the best. Yeah,
and look, I know Star Wars is not supposed to be all about the fights and the flips, and it's supposed to be more about the adventure and stuff like that. But gosh dang it, I want my flips and I want some fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me a little bit.
I think they struck the perfect balance between the two with that.
Yeah, that one was really.
It's like it's choreographed. It's not horrifically over choreographed where they're spinning the sabers and they're not even touching each other.
Yeah,
and they're just standing still like that. That's pathetic. Anyone who liked that fight in the prequel trilogy is crazy to me.
I really like that Last Jedi fight at the end, like you just said, in the Red Throne Room, and I feel like, to me, it's probably my favorite fight. I don't really care about anything else.
Honestly, the Throne Room and the Rey Kylo fight from 7, I think are some of the best they've had in Star Wars.
That one's good. I just like this one better because it's more polished and choreographed.
Well,
And I don't know.
it's just I think the fact that it wasn't polished and it was really messy and really gritty, and you had the atmosphere and the lights.
Yeah, it had more emotion.
It was really well shot. I really liked how they did that one.
Yeah.
Then you had the music swell up. I just love that.
All right, now we're just talking about The Last Jedi.
Yeah. I was just trying to think now. I have no idea what they're going to do with Lando in this, apart from obviously kill him.
Yeah.
If they don't kill him, I'll be surprised. In fact, I can see them not actually killing him.
He could be the guy giving a speech for their funerals.
Yeah. I'd love that. I think that's the perfect role.
Yeah, that that just came into my head. Honestly, really, just randomly. So that could be something.
Because then you can tie it into Solo, and you can be like, I remember like when we first met, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
For the 90% of the population that didn't see Solo,
go.
Here's a recap of the movie and what you missed out.
Or, I was about to say, like, do a little wink. Go watch Solo. Yeah. It's out of theaters, I think. So that sucks.
I think it's still kind of in.
Well, to be fair, Draft House they get rid of their movies really quick because
to be fair, it's less than 1,000. It's at 778 theaters domestically. So it's not a lot. It's still in
good
the
amount.
top 20. It's still making over 1 million a weekend. But actually, am I looking at it wrong? Yeah, 1 million. Yeah. So it's still doing stuff. But yeah, it's cool that Billy D's back. It's not surprising since we just had Lando in the Solo movie, but.
I still need to see that movie, man. I know you told me it's worth a watch. It's just that I was gonna go see it in the Draft House, and by the time I wanted to go see it, it wasn't there anymore. It's
literally worth a watch. I don't think I need to go back and see it again. I'm not gonna rush to get it on like home release. I probably will eventually, but
I'm gonna check if it's in my other theater that
I still haven't got Rogue One on Blu-ray, so I'm not anthology movies, but.
It is actually still. There's only 2 showings. One at 10:50 p.m. right now.
Catch a late showing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let's see.
See, you'll get my perfect experience because that thing will be empty.
Oh.
And you can.
Is it better as empty?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. If I could just have.
No, you'd be that guy because you have a really great TV. You'd be the guy who'd buy the box right to get the movies the day of at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're that person they're marketing towards. I might not, mostly because I don't know. I still like to go to the movies, but
if I could rent out like a screen in the cinema and just have it be me
and not be expensive.
Lovely.
But
like they start making like personal rooms. So you have like 1 or 2 seats.
You can do that. You can do that if you want. It's kind of, I think, a little expensive, but like, no.
But I mean, like, instead of having like the massive rooms with like a ton of seats, it's just literally. Like you get a little sofa and you have the massive screen.
Okay, I don't think they do that.
That's like perfect movie experience.
Yeah, I don't think they do that here. I'm just.
When I win the lottery, that's what I'm gonna have.
Tomorrow.
Imagine. I don't know. When is the lottery over here? I think it's on Saturday.
Somebody in my city won the lottery, and I always think of that one movie with Bow Wow where he won the lottery. He has till like 4:00 to cash it in, and everybody's trying to like be his best friend or try to steal the ticket. Which I don't think you can steal the ticket. I think it has his name on it. I think anybody can steal the ticket.
I don't know. I don't know if it's different over here to you.
I feel like you have your name on it, and you have to give him your ID and stuff like that. So I don't know why they try to steal it.
I can't remember actually.
All right, look. So there's one at 4:45 tomorrow.
We're talking about the lotteries.
Matinee.
Yeah, we get a matinee of it. It'll be worth a watch.
4:45.
But I was going to try and think. I really need to stop thinking of segues, but I never will.
God damn it!
Gundam. Legendary even, and Sunrise are collaborating on a live-action Gundam movie. Which I don't know how to feel. Because I can't think. Who's the guy they said? That's it, Kale Poiter. Or Boiter, even. I just know someone called Boit.
The movie was announced by the Anime Expo Los Angeles. Property yada yada yada. Original Gundam series was set in an era in which humanity's growing population has led to people to emigrate to space colonies. Eventually, those living in colonies seek autonomy and launch a war of independence against the people living on Earth. See, why can't this happen in real? This is the Space Force, right? Building Gundams. That's the Space Force, basically. We're gonna go other planets, and
even though Trump would have the shitty ground types, like the grunt suits and
Yeah.
like, the
He
garbage.
he wouldn't have that main one that we look at. We know of.
So you would never have a Gundam. You just have like a mobile suit. That's what you'd
Yeah.
have.
He'd have like
Or,
you remember in Iron Man 2 when you saw those other countries making Iron Man? That's our Gundams. It's our Space Force right there.
You'll be in North Korea where it turns around and breaks in there.
Exactly.
Like
That's our Space Force right there.
But Cale Boiter, who's I think he's overseeing the project. He is the guy responsible for Pacific Rim Uprising. So,
take it as you will, right? You know that film just came out for a rental, and I wanted to see it because I'm very curious, but at the same time, like I just don't know if it'll be worth that $5.
No,
probably not, right?
I will watch it when it's on TV for free.
Imagine if Guillermo del Toro was on this, like in terms of just show running it. Damn, that.
Actually, I don't know if Del Toro I'd pick for a Gundam. If you were gonna say like Peter Jackson, I'd be kind of like, but he's got to do a Neon Genesis movie. But in the meantime, I'd watch a Gundam.
I would say James Wan, but he's got to do a Robotech movie, so never mind.
Yeah,
he's doing a Robotech movie, so he can't.
Who's doing the live action Voltron movie?
We would say all these directors, right? But they're already doing like similar things to Gundam.
Yeah.
Who is doing the live action Voltron?
I don't know. I'm just looking it up now.
Still in production. David Hayter? They're writing the script?
Yeah,
all right.
David Hayter.
He's writing the script? Yeah.
See, someone said to me, "Oh, Voltron and Gundam at the same time." Like that's a bit of a problem because if they both suck, then you'll never get into this again. It's like Voltron and Gundam are two wildly different audiences.
Where is my
because they've got giant robots in them doesn't mean they're in the same genre.
I feel like Voltron is very more for younger audience, or as Gundam feels for an older audience, or is it the other way around?
Well, I mean, they're probably for the same age range.
Yeah. Because they seem the same to me. I don't know.
I'd say Voltron's more like a more mature Power Rangers.
Is it? Okay. You know, it's been a while. I haven't even seen the Voltron animated series. It's been a while since I've seen Gundam. So I just remember I had all the Gundams in the middle 2000s.
I'm getting them currently now.
Yeah, you know, that's a thing, right? I know somebody else's girl, I know her brother really is into collecting Gundams and like painting them and stuff like that, and you are too, and it's like some of the people in the Discord, I don't necessarily get it, but that's a thing now.
It's just, I mean, it's always a thing.
I don't know.
I've seen a thing since the 80s.
I've seen it more. I guess for me, I've seen it more recently, like in my life. Like I've seen more people do it. I've never seen anybody do it.
It might, like, the profile might be going higher in the States,
probably
because like America gets it really fucking easily. Yeah. Like you can just go out and get them anywhere. Over here, it's a nightmare. You know, I've got to wait like 3 weeks for a single kit to arrive. Yeah. But it's been their biggest like income from the toy stuff for like 40 years, or ever since they started doing it. It's crazy. Yeah. But the question I've seen a lot of people say is, what are they going to do? Like, how are they going to tackle this?
Yeah, there's so many different variations of series, right?
Because a lot of people are saying maybe it's a sequel to the Unicorn series. I don't see them doing that because that's a lot of homework people need to do.
Damn, I don't even remember like what series it's called. Remember we were trying to decide which was the Gundam I watched? I honestly don't remember. I just remember watching a bunch of Gundam for like years, and then eventually they stopped showing it on Toonami. That was how I watched all my anime on Toonami.
What kind of year did you watch it on Toonami?
Early 2000s, and then all the way to like
probably going to be Gundam Seed.
Almost all the way to 2010, and then I think, or whenever Toonami started and ended, that's when I watched all my anime: Gundam, Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho. And when it ended, I got off anime because I didn't know where to watch it anymore until like 2014, 2015, when I realized you could watch it online. I was like, hey, anime online, cool.
Yeah, I want to say it was probably Gundam Seed.
Yeah,
because that was 2002, 2003. So you probably had that one.
God, I feel like such an old person when I realized like, oh, I can watch anime online. It's like when I told you I can listen through like Xbox or PlayStation or my consoles with headphones on my controllers. I honestly didn't know that until like 2 years ago.
I mean, to be fair, on the Xbox, they made it a really roundabout way to do that. It's only recently with the new controller that you can do that. Yeah. Unless you had an Elite at the start, and that was the only way to just plug it in properly. But yeah, I know Tristan wants G Gundam, and it's like, no, Tristan, you're dumb. G Gundam sucks.
Do you like Gundam Seed?
Gundam Seed's a very controversial one.
I don't remember like
It's a
much of it
very
all.
like, a lot of people say it's boring because there's not a lot of fights. It's more with the characters and there's some weird stuff in that.
Sounds about right for me.
Yeah, no, I don't mind Gundam Seed and Destiny. They're fine.
Which
I
one's the one
think
you want?
um, I'd personally rather just have something completely new.
Yeah, same.
Or if you're gonna do it, go back to the start and do the old Granddaddy series with the RX-8.
I feel
'Cause,
like new makes sense because we've always talked about like there's all these source material, right? With all this, and you can just adapt it in a way, and maybe
you know, like
make a new story.
there's like Gundam's like comics and like Marvel DC. There's tons of timelines.
Yeah.
I can't sit here to name them all because I don't know all the Gundam timelines and how they work because I don't have time to sit and go through all that.
Mitch is the one that's putting me on to the recent one. Actually, you can watch I think on Funimation.
Yeah, it's free on YouTube.
I mean, well, that's I will look
No,
it up on
they
Hulu.
literally they put up Iron Blooded Orphans.
Oh, it's on Hulu too. Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm
tons of places.
I'm going for a straight binge. But it does. I like dub, but I guess I'm gonna have to watch a sub.
The dub of Iron Blooded Orphans is really fucking good.
Yeah, but
I just
Hulu's
don't know
weird.
if they finished it.
Hulu doesn't have dub. Which is weird.
I mean, the dub's on their website, on the YouTube page even, and it's all in HD. So
what is the OAS MS team? What is that? It's a show too. Wow, there's so many. Wow, you're right. There's so many. Universal
like
Century 0079, the 1 year. What? And
there's about 40 different series, and about a third of them connect.
Wow,
A lot.
It's crazy.
It's a really convoluted timeline.
Oh, here, Unicorn. This is one, right?
Yeah, Unicorn. I think Unicorn is a sequel to the original. I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
Yeah, like if I had to choose a series for them to adapt, it would either have to be the original Gundam Wing because everyone my age grew up on Gundam Wing, and it's like the most nostalgic and arguably the best one they've done.
Well, here it is, Seed Remaster. They have Seed Remaster, 48 episodes.
Yeah. It's an anniversary of Seed, so I think.
All right, I'm gonna start Orphans.
Iron Blooded Orphans is really good.
How many episodes is it in?
They're all 50 episodes long.
Oh, so it's just 50? Because I see it here. It's only 50 episodes.
Yeah. Most of them are just 2 series long. It's a really different one because it's more like ground level. You get some space fights, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And they kind of like go away from like the whole guns and swords. It's more just like big clubs and melee weapons.
Ooh.
Even though a sword is a melee weapon, but yeah. I mean, actually, they could make a prequel to Iron Blooded Orphans and do the Calamity War for the movie, but again, that's homework. But I don't know. I think the best thing for them to do is do an original series. Make something that looks like quite recognizable Gundams.
I agree.
Not necessarily like too much like a Unicorn, because no doubt they'll probably go for the Unicorn because it's got the most visual. Like, the whole thing splits apart and glows red. So, but I don't know, make something that looks like a Gundam and is recognizable to Gundam fans.
Agree.
No. Just as long as it's not fucking Build Divers or Build Fighters, because no, that thing is absolute trash. And it's offensive. So, oh look, this is a series where we want to make you buy toys.
Agree.
But we're going to be really unsubtle about it. But yeah, I don't know when they're planning for this to come out.
Yeah. I'm assuming if they don't have a director or a cast or whatever, 2021?
No.
2020 maybe? 20 at the earliest? I doubt 2019.
Yeah. Do you say if it's going to be live action? So they need a decent budget. They cannot uprising this. If they make the Gundams look slightly cartoonish, then you got a problem. Even though I suppose they actually, because a lot of uprising's problems with the fact that they move and there's no physics to them. But Gundam doesn't really follow that rule.
Could be cool.
It could be really good. They've got a franchise that if they play it right, it could be the next big thing.
Legendary, I feel like, is known for having those big franchises. I don't know why. I mean, Pacific Rim.
Well, what does Legend? Oh, I wouldn't call Pacific Rim a big franchise.
I mean, it should have been.
It should have been. It could have been.
Yeah, let's look
But
at what other stuff Legendary has.
I
Okay.
suppose they got Godzilla and Kong Skull Island, so it
Yeah.
fits in, and Jurassic World. It
So
kind of fits in with what their movies do. And if actually, who did the Godzilla movie?
it's Legendary, wasn't it? It was Warner
No,
Brothers.
Gareth Edwards. I wouldn't be against Gareth Edwards
Sure.
doing a Gundam movie. He has that sense of scale. He got that with Godzilla, right? So, who did Kong?
Wait, when is Godzilla versus King Kong?
Um,
Oh, here it is, 2020. Here.
yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
And Godzilla King of Monsters is 2019, and that's going to be like setting up versus Kong, I guess.
Also, I feel like Legendary want to do Gundam because Pacific Rim has failed.
Probably. That makes a lot of sense.
Because Pacific Rim it's not really like a Gundam, but looking at them, you can kind of see how they got there.
Only way to say Pacific Rim v Godzilla. Or would it be Godzilla v Pacific Rim? Probably Godzilla v Pacific Rim, because Pacific Rim's not a household name anymore.
But you couldn't call it Pacific Rim.
Godzilla versus Gundams.
No, it would have to be like Gypsy Avenger versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
Because Pacific Rim is the name of the movie, not the person in it or a thing in it. Or just call it Pacific Rim 3. I don't know.
Pacific Rim 3, King of Monsters. Only they were doing a Godzilla one of it. Man, you can tell Legendary does some high budgeted stuff when they're doing Mamma Mia. Here we go again.
If they hadn't have waited that long, that would have been a multi-billion.
That's a hit, yeah. Detective Pikachu. I didn't know they were doing it.
Oh yeah.
Ryan Reynolds, Rita Ora. Okay. Yeah.
No, I'm really apprehensive about this movie, and I want it to be great because I think the franchise deserves it, especially after that god awful fucking TV movie that even the creator of Gundam doesn't acknowledge because it was that bad. Even though it wasn't really Gundam, it wasn't called Gundam, but there was a Gundam in it.
That's cool. For television, they're producing The Expanse and Colony. Awesome. Those are two really good shows. Those other ones, Colony and Expanse are really good.
If they can combine The Expanse and that into this, and take notes from those two shows, then they've nailed.
I think Colony is another one of the great shows, so I'd say that too. But that's kind of like Aliens appear on Earth, and it's based on a street level and stuff like that, so it probably has nothing to do with that.
No, because for a Gundam movie, you have to nail the fact that on colonies, there's a lot of politics involved. It's not just robots smashing into each other. Of course, it's obviously part of it because it's what it's named after, but you have to get it. And please don't call every fucking suit a Gundam.
Oh my god, imagine that.
Literally pull my hair out because it's not how it works. Don't westernize it and whitewash everything, please.
Right.
Even though Gundam's in white, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, that's the end of the topics, and onto the box office.
What?
It's the last topic.
Look at the notes. I want to
I am looking at the notes. It was. Oh no, you want to talk about the shitty movie you watched?
Really quick. Because the one thing I'm trying to always do for this is what we do for the other shows. Pastor Remote, we talk about TV shows. The page talk about comics. Mostly we talk about the big superhero movies on the General Show, the CBC podcast. So I wanted to try to get the other movies that that are okay and in a general sense for Book the Ticket. So the one I went to go see was The First Purge. I just wanted to get 5 minutes to it, basically to kind of see if there is a way forward for this franchise. I would say yes.
Okay, your time starts now. You've got 5 minutes.
Well, I would say since they're having a TV show and they're most likely going to make another Purge movie, I think this franchise is in a good place. I personally enjoyed this movie, though it seems like I'm a big Blumhouse shill. You know how we do the Donny Cates show? I'm a big Blumhouse shill. I love a lot of their movies.
I'm not going to open this show with the Blumhouse shill.
No, we're not. But I'm just saying I'm a big Blumhouse shill. And I would say a lot of their movies is kind of things I've always thought about and would be interesting as an idea. But they always seem to do 75% of what I would do. This one, specifically, there was a moment towards the middle of the film where there's this whole thing of they don't, because I'm just gonna spoil it, right? Nobody cares. Mitch doesn't care. I'm just gonna spoil it.
No, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, nobody. If you care
It's
about
a
it,
prequel. There's
I'm
not really
spoiling.
any spoilers anyway. So.
Well, yeah, it depends on how they start. So the whole thing was, it's a science experiment, right? They're starting it on Staten Island first. There's a protest, yada yada yada. Apparently, it's not working. Nobody is killing each other. They're actually partying. They have a purge party. 10 out of 10 for having the Plug Walk song. I love that song. Nobody was killing each other, and then of course the big bad white guy, suit guy, decided to call in mercenaries to because they needed it to work, and it wasn't working. And they brought in mercenaries from outside Staten Island to go in and kill people so they could show the world that it is working and this is a good catharsis or whatever. Apparently, having all crimes legal for one day every year is worth it. I'm not entirely sure how that's worth it. But, yeah, so that's the thing. And then the big middle thing I was talking about was that the main character, who was like a gangster, like the head gangster, does a speech of like, this is our hood. They don't know it. They ain't about us. They don't live here. And that's my thing I always love about movies. You know what I mean? Where like, it's all about the people. Is like, if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us type of thing. I always go back to that because I think it really works. I don't know. There's something about it that I fall in love with. And it's like this grouping. And, that's basically the movie. Like the people are like, they think they can mess with our hood. They don't know our hood like we do. We're gonna take them out. And I don't know how a group of gangsters are taking out mercenaries, but I'm okay with it. That's fine with it. I thought at that point in the middle is when it really started to ramp up. So overall, I would say it was a fun film. I'd probably watch it again just because I'm a shill for these movies, and I like that aspect of like they can't mess with our hood, but. I just thought they should have gave the city more life. You know how we always talk about giving stuff more life, like to the city? They do at the very beginning. Like the ending is in this apartment building, and in the very beginning, there's like, oh, the elevator doesn't work, or the water is overflowing and stuff like that. It doesn't come back to the end. I thought it was gonna have something to do at the end. Would have gave it a better like life to the city and stuff like that. But other than that, like, it was good. I enjoyed it. You would have like just left if you saw this point because it was like 65% serious and like 35 super comical. Where there is this guy who they called Skeletor, and he was just like he felt like he was out of the '60s Batman TV show. He's like, Skeletor.
Yeah, I actually heard a guy called Skeletor in there.
Yeah, Skeletor's here to kill. Because the thing was, like, they called him Skeletor because his face was all messed up and he looked like bones. And it worked in the beginning, but towards, like, the end and stuff like that, it was just, like, too comical. I just couldn't deal with it. But
yeah.
And eventually he got shot down. But it was just funny. He thought he could kill a bunch of mercenaries. He got shot down. But I don't know. I like the whole this is our hood thing because it's just, it gives... like life a little bit to where they're from, and I don't know, this is cool. But yeah, that's probably more than 5 minutes. But I hope to see more of the Purge franchise, and it isn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It isn't as bad.
Yeah.
I thought people said it was gonna be bad, and I was like, it isn't as bad. I actually enjoyed it. So yeah,
that's cool.
All right.
Well, you kept it under 5 minutes.
Oh, was that under 5 minutes? Cool. Okay.
Yeah, that was 4. Near enough. Dead on.
All right, cool. So first Purge. If you're a fan of this, go check it out. If you're not, though, that probably not worth it because it's not even that scary, really. But yeah,
are the Purge movies supposed to be scary?
They used to be. They have some jump scares,
Really?
but they went into more actiony, and this one does have more of the action in it, and it does have some jump scares. But it's like overall, it's more better as an action movie. I feel like, or like a thrilling action movie. And the difference I would say...
A thriller.
Yeah, okay. So the difference I would say between this and the second one was the second one was just about Frank Grillo going out there to kill somebody who killed, I think, his family. And this one was about like, oh, they came into our home. We have
Time's
to...
up.
Yeah, okay, well, there you go. I wanted to keep it 5 minutes.
I was gonna wait, just counting it down.
All right. You should have counted it down.
No, I was gonna see how far you'd get, or if you'd make it to the 5 minute.
I mean, we're pretty much done. I was just saying, if you're a fan, go watch them. The TV show looks weird because it's filmed in HD cameras. It looks weird.
Ooh,
it looks super weird. It's filmed in like really clean cameras, and it's like doesn't like it's supposed to look dirty. The Purge is supposed to look dirty like they do in the films, but
I hate when they do stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's going to be a grim gritty. It's like, oh, it looks incredibly clean, like a soap opera. It's like, no.
Yeah, it's so I don't like that, which is weird. But yeah, all right, that's the first Purge.
The box office of the July 6th weekend, and we have at number 5 because I got the right date this weekend. Sicario, the Day of Soldado. How do you pronounce that? Was it Soldado?
Soldado. Yeah, Sicario, Day of the Soldado.
I should have just asked you to get to say it. Yeah. But yeah, 7.6 million. In at number 4 is The First Purge with 17.3. Number 3, Incredibles 2 with 28.4. Number 2, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom with 28.6. And of course, at number 1, Ant-Man and the Wasp with 75.8 million.
Wasn't that right on the projections? I thought I saw it said it was going to be 75 million.
Yeah, I think it was... It's about. I think the original one was 72, and then some people upped it to like 85.
Ooh,
and some people, and then it's kind of like. But I think what Disney said was 70. I'm not 100% sure, but people are going, "Oh, it's underperformed." It's like, no, it's kind of actually got bang on with what everyone, well, what most people are saying anyway. So plus an Ant-Man movie making 75, nearly 76 million. Like, come on, how is that anyway underperforming? It's right. Ant-Man.
So you want to go through over what we got last week, or I do?
You can go over.
Right, I did Sicario, we both got it at 5. We knew that was gonna happen. We actually both put Incredibles at 4. And it stayed at 3. I think we thought it was gonna have a bigger dip. I guess it didn't. Good on it.
Which surprises me because hypothetically, because I can't really talk about it just yet. I don't think it's that great of a movie. I enjoyed it. I
haven't seen it. I need to go see it. So I heard people liked it.
I only say it's hypothetically. I enjoyed it hypothetically.
Yeah.
Because it's not out to the 13th here. But it's fine. It's not great. It's not what I wanted it to be personally. The first one's still by and far like the best or one of the best Pixar movies ever made. But this one is I don't know. I feel like Pixar could not do sequels. That's not Toy Story.
Maybe
it's better than Monsters University. It's better than Finding Dory. It's better than any Cars movie. It's just I don't know. I expected more, and I probably shouldn't have expected anything really. But no.
For number 3. Because actually, in reality, the first Purge was 4. For number 3 was actually, in reality, Incredibles 2. You had the first Purge, I had Jurassic World. Which, looking at, Incredibles, easily could have been number 3, and Incredibles could have been 2. Look at that, $200,000 difference.
Yeah, it was close. Could have been
the other way around. And 2, close. Of course, Jurassic World in reality. You had Jurassic World. I had the first Purge, and of course, Ant-Man and the Wasp first. We all knew it was gonna be first. It's not.
Of course, I only got 1 wrong. Joe got 2 wrong.
Yeah, because I thought the first Purge would be second. For some reason, I thought first Purge could at least get 8 million more, and Jurassic World Incredibles would be 24, 23.
I told you it weren't tracking that high.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's just something about it being on 4th of July and the marketing with it. I don't know. There could have been with it, but Ant-Man and the Wasp definitely took over. Which it is what it is.
Which is a good movie, hypothetically.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I got some issues with it.
I know a friend of mine was like, yeah, it's funny, but he liked the first one better, and I get that.
To be perfectly honest, 100%. I think as a film, the first one is better.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, exactly.
Character-wise, I think this one's a lot stronger.
Yeah, the villain definitely has more of a character.
I wouldn't even say this one's got a villain, to be honest.
No, yeah.
It's a weird one. You can't follow Thanos, so don't even try. Do something different.
It's one of those things where we don't really want to spoil it because I'm sure we're probably going to talk about it on the general
tomorrow,
the CBS podcast. But
tune in live Twitch.tv.
But spoilers all around, just in case. So if you just don't want to be spoiled by that, real quick, because this goes to kind of what we think about.
Spoilers here now?
It's just a quick thing because Ghost, right?
No, say spoilers.
No, I'm not trying to spoil everything. I'm just one little quick thing. Because you're right. You mentioned the fact there's no real villain here. It feels like, I mean, I guess you could say one of the bad guys is an actual villain because he's a drug dealer or something like that. But you're right. In terms of movies, the first one might be better overall. That's what I initially thought when I saw this. I just thought this was really funny though.
I just find it abruptly starts and abruptly ends. It's just like, huh. That's an interesting way of doing it.
Sure, I don't remember. People keep saying it abruptly starts, and I don't even remember how it started, to be honest.
Hank and... It's a flashback, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's the,
It's
like,
Hank
what
and
happened
Hank.
with Hank, yeah. Facts. Alright, what's coming out next? Hotel Transylvania?
Next week we have Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation, and Skyscraper. Skyscraper's looking at 33.5, and Hotel Transylvania's looking at 40 million.
Ant-Man's gonna be first.
No, I tell you, like 45 million. So
Ant-Man maybe
it's
first.
gonna be close. Yeah.
Ant-Man maybe. It's gonna be close between Hotel and Ant-Man. I'm gonna put Ant-Man first, and Hotel second.
Oh, I'm gonna put Hotel Transylvania first.
Okay. It makes sense. It's the newer movie. Kids, summer.
You know, if you think like they usually have like a 50% drop, 45 million's more than 50% of 75.
I'm gonna go. I don't know. I have a feeling it might be less than 50%, but oh, wait. Ant-Man W.
I mean, it could be, but I don't know.
Skyscraper's got to be third, right?
Skyscraper's looking at 33.5. Yeah.
It's got to be third.
Hotel, Ant-Man, Skyscraper.
I guess Incredible. No, what was the Jurassic World? It just moved everybody down.
Jurassic.
Right?
I'm gonna say Incredibles 2 above Jurassic World. Because look at Jurassic World's drop in its second week or its third week.
You know what? I have a feeling about this movie, 8th Grade by Bo Burnham.
Oh, that's not even on here. I don't think that's gonna make top 5.
It feels like it's gonna be one of the better movies this summer in terms of just filmmaking, because I hear a lot of good things about it. But you're right, it might not make a lot of money.
Yeah. Just
because it's a better movie doesn't always make a lot of money, as we've known.
But I think like comedy movies like that, you know, that's quite a niche thing, like a comedian's movie.
True.
That's not him. I think that's maybe top 10 if it makes a couple of million, but I wouldn't go put it in the top 5 anyway.
Because you're right, Jurassic World and Incredibles 2 are very close to each other, you know? So yeah, I'm going to put I2 as well. I2, and then Jurassic World 5th, right? Has to be. No, wait.
No,
Jurassic World goes down another 50%. It'll be a 14 at least. 14, maybe let's say 13, 14. First Purge would have to go down to under 14, 13 because it can't stay like above that. Sicario. It'd have to be Jurassic World, right? What else would be up there?
So what we got? Hotel Transylvania 3, Ant-Man Wasp, Incredibles.
It'd have to be
Jurassic
Incredibles
World.
2 4th and Jurassic World 5th.
Where are you getting? Hold on. Hotel Transylvania's first.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and Wasp is second. Incredibles 2 is 3. Oh, I'm forgetting
you put
Skyscraper. Yeah, that's my bad. I completely forgot about that.
Are you not watching? Are you not looking at the list we're doing? Yeah.
No, I was, but I was trying to think like how is it 5th when it's 4th? I just forgot it was there.
Actually, this is one of the few, the Rock films I'm looking forward to. You know, wait, when did Baywatch come out? Did it come out this year?
No, it was last year.
Jumanji came out this year. Rampage
Jumanji was last year. Jumanji came out at the same time as Last Jedi.
Oh, but December though, right? Yeah. Well, because
Rampage came out. Was it February? No, it was later than that.
Jumanji, Rampage, Skyscraper. I think that's the first 3 in a row that might actually be worthwhile. Because Rampage, good. Jumanji, good. Skyscraper, I think it's gonna be good.
I mean, projections are down 8% from last week.
I mean, that doesn't always mean it's not a.
I mean, they're just adjusting the hype around it, but
it could very well be a good movie. Maybe just not have the hype around it, because it definitely seems like a different movie.
I mean, even so, if it's looking at 33.5 million opening weekend, that's not bad.
No, but it's definitely a different movie than The Rock is used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's 101 million domestic total. That's not bad.
Yeah. So as we I think we're about to end this. We have it right. Everything's the same thing. Skyscraper 3, I choose 4, Jurassic World 5th, except I have Ant-Man and the Wasp first, Hotel Transylvania second, Mitch has the other way around. Had Hotel Transylvania first, Ant-Man and the Wasp second. I think we're pretty much set, and I'll try to do 5 minutes again next week for Skyscraper. You got time on that.
You could do a good movie.
I mean, what other movies are? Like, I'm not gonna watch Hotel Transylvania.
I don't know. Why not?
Uncle Drew?
It's gonna make more money. Like, why not?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's a better movie.
I mean, clearly it does.
Transformers, you think is a better movie than?
Well, I mean, you know, if you had to be consistent with everything, so apparently, yeah.
You can. Yeah, it's good. Toodles.
Oi, let's not. Until next time.